Data out is used whenever we need to send some data from our app to an external source. Now, before we can start building a data out request, we need to add an app to my apps. Now, in this case, I connected already to Airtable, but you can connect to any other backend you like. You can connect to Xano, to Firebase, Supabase, and so on. In this case, we're going to build a simple request. When a user fills out a form and submits it, we're going to create a record in Airtable. So we need to make sure that all of these fields are matching with whatever we're having in Airtable. So in this case, I added fields first name, last name, email, and message. And we have that here. Now, I also added Wized Elements. You can see here, if we look at our Webflow build, I added WL first name, WL last name. So we have all of these Wized Elements in place. All right, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do here is click on the Add button. This will enable us to add a new data out request. And here I'm going to call it Submit Form. All right, then I have to select the app to which I'm going to send data. In this case, that's Airtable. API type, it's not an authentication request, it's a database request. So we want to create a new row in our database. All right. And method, this is something that's very different from data in. So in data in, we are only creating GET requests. So we are getting data from somewhere. Here we have three different types of requests. We have create item, which is a post request, and it creates a new item in a database. We have update item, which is a put request, and that updates any item, as the name suggests. And we have a delete request, or delete item. So we can delete any record we have in Airtable. Now in this case, I want to create a new item. So I'm going to select that. Under base, I have to select to which base I'm going to add a record. In this case, it's my Wized project. And then finally, I have to select the table. In this case, it's the form submissions table. All right, now I have to map the fields from this form behind here with these fields. Luckily, I named them exactly the same as these fields, so it's going to be very easy. So first, I'm going to click on this data field here, and I'm going to select first name. Then we have last name. Here we have email. And finally, we have the message. All right, under trigger, I'm going to leave this empty because we want to create a trigger on the form submit button. All right. Note that the data out request also has a response. So the server responds whether it was a successful request or if there was an error, and there might be some information that the server is sending back to us. And you can use that information across your whole app. We're going to get to these things later, but for now, let's just keep everything as is, and we're going to hit save. Now, the only thing that's left is we have to set up a trigger on this submit form button. Now let's head over to the actions panel, and here we're going to create a new action. I'm going to call it click submit. All right, and here I'm going to apply this on the form submit button. Submit button, there we have it. And now under configuration, I'm going to select on click because when the button gets clicked, we want to perform something, and that's going to be a request. And here I'm going to select our submit form request that we created in data out earlier. Once I hit save, we can test our configuration. All right, so let's give it a shot. Let's hit preview and let's fill out our form. So I'm going to write here Emmanuel Probonia. I'm going to write my email. Hello there. Once I hit submit, we should be able to see that result in Airtable. And there we have it. We can see that the data has been successfully submitted. If we wanted, we could go ahead and make this user experience even better by adding loaders, showing a success message, and so on. But for now though, let's sum up what we learned. We covered first the basics of data out request, then we built a request that sends data to Airtable, and finally we tested our solution out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.